It is all completely gone!
What if every building on Earth vanished, right now, without warning? Not destroyed, not collapsed, just gone. No houses, no hospitals, no factories, no skyscrapers. Let's set the rules first. This isn't a slow decline. It happens everywhere, at the exact same second, across the entire planet. The people stay, the land stays. Every single structure disappears instantly, from mud huts to 100-story towers. Sounds almost peaceful, doesn't it? It isn't, because researchers at the Technical University of Munich, led by Professor Xiaoxiang Zhu, recently mapped nearly every structure on the planet using satellite data. Their count came to roughly 2.75 billion buildings. Erase all of them, and you erase the container for almost everything humans do. Think about that number for a second. 2.75 billion. That's not just homes. That's schools, prisons, airports, apartment blocks, corner shops, server farms, grain silos, subway stations, and every single hospital on the planet. All of it gone in the same instant. So what actually happens in the first hour? Stage 1, exposure. According to United Nations data, more than half the world's population lives in cities today, packed into dense urban cores built entirely on the assumption of shelter. Now imagine every apartment tower in that skyline gone. Every wall between a person and the weather gone. In warm regions, this is survivable, at least for a while. In cold ones, it's an immediate crisis. Hypothermia researcher Dr. Gordon Giesbrecht has spent decades studying exactly how fast a human body fails once it loses shelter from the cold. His research shows the timeline isn't measured in days, it's measured in hours, sometimes less. Picture Chicago in January, with nothing standing between the wind and 8 million bodies. Picture Tokyo, Moscow, New York. No walls, no shared body heat behind a closed door. Just open sky and whatever the sky decides to do that night. Now scale that up. This isn't one city, it's every latitude, every hemisphere, all at once. Half the planet is in daylight, half is in darkness. Somewhere, it's raining. Somewhere, it's snowing. Somewhere, it's simply hot enough that dehydration becomes the danger instead of cold. Within the first night, exposure alone could kill more people than most wars in history. And here's the part almost nobody thinks about first. It's not just about survival. It's about where 8 billion people physically stand. No walls means no privacy, no security, no separation between strangers who were, an hour ago, safely on opposite sides of a locked door. But it gets worse. Stage 2, medicine disappears. Every hospital on Earth just vanished too. Every operating room, every ICU, every dialysis machine, every ventilator. Millions of people worldwide depend on continuous medical infrastructure just to stay alive today. Now picture that infrastructure gone in an instant. Mid-surgery, mid-treatment, mid-breath. There is no ambulance to call because there's no hospital to drive to. There is no pharmacy because there's no building to hold the shelves. Doctors and nurses would still exist. Knowledge would still exist, but knowledge without walls, without sterile rooms, without electricity, is knowledge with almost nothing to work with. Someone on a ventilator loses power the second that ventilator's building disappears. Someone mid-dialysis loses the machine entirely. Someone waiting for insulin has no pharmacy shelf left to find it on, and no factory left to make more. Can medicine survive without a single roof over its head? For the first few days, barely. Field medicine has always existed. Battlefield triage, open-air surgery in wartime. But those methods were built as a backup to hospitals, never as a full replacement for all of them, everywhere, permanently. Stage 3, the systems underneath everything else. Power plants are buildings. Water treatment facilities are buildings, food storage warehouses, refrigeration units, grocery stores, seed banks, all of it, structural, all of it, gone. Within days, cities that once processed millions of gallons of clean water per hour would have none. Within a week, stored food supplies that once lined shelves in every neighborhood would simply not exist, because the shelves themselves are gone. Humanity wouldn't run out of food because farms disappeared. Farms are mostly open land. Crops would still be growing in the fields. Cattle would still be grazing. Humanity would run out of usable food because everything between the farm and your plate, processing plants, packaging facilities, distribution warehouses, refrigerated trucks that load from loading docks, is a building or depends on one. Communication collapses next. Cell towers are structures. Data centers are structures. The servers holding the entire internet sit inside buildings that no longer exist. Within hours, most of humanity's digital knowledge becomes, quite literally, unreachable. Stage 4. What happens to order itself? Prisons are buildings. Police stations are buildings. Courts, banks, vaults, every institution that keeps a society functioning day to day depends on a physical structure to operate from. Now picture every prisoner on Earth suddenly standing on open ground with no wall left to hold them. Picture every police station gone, every dispatch center silent, every patrol car with nowhere to report back to. This isn't just a supply problem anymore, it's a governance problem. Money still exists as a concept, but the vaults holding physical currency are gone, and the data centers verifying digital transactions are gone with them. For a short window, the only real currency left would be whatever you can carry and whoever you can trust standing next to you. So here's the real question underneath all of this. Is it the loss of walls that kills us, or the loss of everything those walls quietly protect? The data says it's the second one. A building was never just a box. It was climate control keeping a body at 37 degrees Celsius. It was a sterile room keeping infection away from an open wound. It was a warehouse keeping grain dry through a season. It was every invisible system civilization built and then hid behind a wall so we'd never have to think about it again. Remove the wall, and every one of those invisible systems is suddenly, violently visible. Within the first month, best estimates suggest global population loss would be staggering, driven not by explosions or collapse, but by exposure, untreated illness, and starvation, layered on top of each other in a matter of weeks. Not a single brick falls on anyone's head. Nothing crashes down. The danger isn't the disappearance itself, it's everything that disappearance quietly takes with it. Compare that to any single disaster in recorded history, and there's no equivalent. Earthquakes destroy neighborhoods. Wars destroy cities. This would destroy the entire concept of shelter, everywhere, simultaneously, for every person alive. And yet, humanity wouldn't vanish. Somewhere between the panic and the loss, survivors would start doing what humans have always done: building. Not skyscrapers at first, shelters, lean-tos, fire pits, walls made of branches and mud, the exact same technology our ancestors used tens of thousands of years ago, rediscovered out of pure necessity. History has already tested small versions of this idea. After major earthquakes leveled entire cities, from Lisbon in 1755 to more recent disasters, survivors didn't wait for institutions to rebuild for them. They started with the simplest structures available, whatever material was closest, and layered complexity back in over years, not days. This global version would follow the same pattern, just multiplied across every country on Earth simultaneously, with no outside help available anywhere. The 2.75 billion buildings Professor Zhu's team mapped didn't appear overnight. They were built one at a time, over thousands of years, each one a tiny act of protection against a world that doesn't care whether you live or die. Rebuilding wouldn't happen evenly either. Regions with the most timber, the most stone, the most stable climate would recover fastest. Regions that relied most heavily on imported materials and complex supply chains would struggle the longest. In a strange way, the parts of the world with the simplest building traditions might become the safest places to be. That's the twist most people never think about. We don't build because buildings are impressive. We build because the outside world is genuinely dangerous, and we've simply stopped noticing because the walls have always been there. So think about the room you're in right now. The temperature you don't have to think about. The rain you don't feel. The illness you can walk into a clinic and treat instead of endure. The food on a shelf that traveled through a dozen buildings before it ever reached you. None of that is guaranteed by nature. All of it is borrowed, quietly, from four walls and a roof you probably haven't thought about all day. We measure civilization in inventions, in technology, in ideas. But underneath almost all of it sits something far less glamorous: a roof, a wall, a door that closes. It's easy to imagine civilization as something abstract: laws, languages, culture, passed down through generations. But this thought experiment strips that away and leaves something much simpler standing. Civilization, at its most basic level, might just be the accumulated decision, made billions of times over thousands of years, to build something between yourself and the world outside. So, what if every building on Earth suddenly vanished? You'd learn, almost instantly, that the buildings were never really about the buildings. They were about everything they were quietly keeping alive inside them, including you.